All right, guys. Today we are going to be reacting to Thomas Sowell educating Kamala Harris on affordable housing. Let's jump in.
We also know that as the price of housing has gone up, the size of down payments have gone up as well. Even if aspiring homeowners save for years, it often still is not enough. So in addition, while we work on the housing shortage, my administration will provide first-time home buyers with $25,000 to help
Wow, I cannot believe that. Wow.
with the down payment on a new home.
Just giving money away, man. Oh.
Quote, the biggest economic fallacy about housing is that affordable housing requires government intervention, close quote. Now, Tom, I have to remonstrate with you. No poor person would be able to live on the island of Manhattan or in the city of San Francisco if there weren't rent control or subsidized low-income housing that these cities forced builders to set aside when they built their high-rises for rich people. Isn't that manifestly true?
No, it's not even remotely true.
All right, explain. Explain.
Well, first history. There were more people, I believe, living in Manhattan prior to the rise of rent control and prior to the rise of government housing projects. My gosh, at one time, the Lower East Side of New York was the most tightly packed place in the world. New York and San Francisco have very long rent control laws, old ones and severe ones. And yet when you look at the cities with the highest rents in the country, of any major cities, they are number one, New York, and number two, San Francisco.
So now, the housing market can be complicated, but look, I'm not new to this issue. As State Attorney General...
Bro, you know what's crazy? She cannot even stop moving. She's so bad at reading these stuff that you can tell she don't believe none of that stuff. She doesn't believe it, folks. She doesn't.
I drafted and helped pass a homeowner bill of rights, one of the first in America. And during the foreclosure crisis, I took on the big banks for predatory lending with many of my colleagues, including Roy Cooper, and won $20 billion for California families when I was Attorney General.
Well, what happens in rent control around the world, really, because it's been tried so many times, is that people, if the rent control is severe, the people either reduce the amount of housing they build or they stop building housing altogether. And so what happens, the political authorities are then confronted with a situation. Do you want to have a situation where there's no new housing built and the old housing is wearing out, usually faster under rent control because the landlords don't have to keep it up as much. And so they step in and they'll have some kind of modification so that, well, let's say we're trying to protect the poor, so we won't regulate luxury housing. Of course, luxury housing and ordinary housing use much of the same labor, the same materials. And so therefore, all the materials that would otherwise have gone into making ordinary housing goes into building luxury housing.
And by the end of my first term, we will end America's housing shortage by building 3 million new homes and rentals that are affordable.
Man, she's a communist, man. She's a communist. Who's gonna pay for that $25,000? Or us? Not even us. That means the federal government has to imprint money, which is gonna just what? What is gonna cost? Increase of housing prices. Increase the prices of the houses. I mean, these people are so naive. $25,000, you know what you're gonna do? That $25,000 is gonna be literally worth $10,000. Are you crazy? These people are insane, man. These people are insane. Of course, she cannot do it. It's not, I mean, Biden can literally do it right now, but they're not gonna do it.
For the middle class.
Middle class how, man?
Economic facts and fallacies once again. If we go back to the beginning of the 20th century, before government intervention became pervasive in housing markets, we find, and this is to me one of the most arresting assertions in the book, we find people paying a smaller percentage of their expenditures for housing than at the end of the 20th century.
Yeah.
In 1901, housing costs took 23% of the average American family's spending. By 2003, it took 33% of a far larger amount of spending. What's going on?
What's going on is that they're restricting the amount of housing that can be built. And obviously, if you restrict the supply while the demand is growing, the prices will go up through the roof.
Cui bono? Who benefits from this arrangement?
Politicians.
Politician, yeah.
How?
Because they get the reputation of being for the poor and the downtrodden, and that they're setting aside affordable housing units, usually in some token amounts.
Yeah, like, you know what I was thinking about? How a man as a Democrat, how you as a man can vote for a Democratic Party, man? I mean, see, if you understand a little bit of economy, right? How the economy works, at least you will understand that the federal government putting more money like this, right? That means that it's going to create a huge amount of inflation. Please look at Ukraine. We invested, we took some, not even, okay, Trump, when he gave all that money, start printing money, we created a huge inflation. We cannot keep doing this. Even though it was the the demon killing people, I understand, deleting people, I understand. Demon just flying around deleting people. However, we had to call space a space. We cannot keep printing money, folks. We don't have it. And she's just saying that 25,000 is not going to matter because then the market's going to rise. Oh, by the way, instead of 25,000, you need $50,000 because that's how the market works. Guaranteed money is equal to what increases prices.
They are preventing the evil landlords from raising the rent by rent control, and if they are able to keep the public paranoid that if they take off the rent control, it'll be just sky-high prices, and so they gain by that. Both the landlords and the tenants lose. They lose in different ways and to different extents. The tenants lose because they can't find a place to stay.
Mm-hmm.
The landlords lose because
nobody can pay it.
The profit they would have made otherwise. The builders lose because there's no demand for apartment buildings if nobody can make a profit on it.
Yeah. Crazy. Shout out to Thomas Sowell, man. Such a great professional in his craft. And I never understood, when I was young, I never understood that concept, right? Guarantee money is just guarantee high prices. If you have the federal government, put it this way, if you have, and this is why a lot of the groceries close to a lot of projects, they tend to have a higher prices than some of these supermarkets in the suburbs. The reason is because a lot of these projects, the federal government or the state is giving guarantee money so they can increase the prices. Slowly but surely, they can increase the policy. Why? Because these people that are buying, they don't care. It's not their money. It's the federal government money. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I would love to hear your guys' opinion. Meantime, guys, I'll see you in the next one.